I'll tell you what, I thought today was going to be pretty easy. Get up, go train. I decided to train steady bolo also. Get up, go train steady bolo. And hanger one. Take it easy. I'll tell you what. So I stayed in Kentucky at a hotel I stayed at for the sale last year called Origin. It's a Wyndham property. But it's really, really nice. So I know I don't have to leave Kentucky until 2 o'clock. Well, it's 2 o'clock and I'm on my way. So I say to myself, well, I wonder if I can talk to the front desk and leave me a late checkout 1 o'clock. I open my phone, there's a text there from the hotel. Click on this for your click on this link for your checkout and other options. Click on it. $40, I can stay till 2 o'clock. I'd never seen that before at a hotel. So I clicked on it. Got up, had a shower. I don't know if you're one of those people, but when I travel, I like to have, particular bed has to be comfortable, right? All the rooms should have normal temperature. The showers are important too. This shower, you can put it on a setting. It could literally blow the tech off an elephant's arse from 40 meters away. Which I like. So my day was starting good. I got up. I told Tim, you know what, just list James on Arrowhead Hanover. I'm not giving up on him, but one, James is one of the leading drivers in the world. Two, he isn't a difficult horse to drive, per se. Three, he's coming in sharp. And four, he's got the outside. He's got the 8-hole. We had to race in the $200,000 division. I was hoping to be down in the next lower one. No such luck. It just seemed like a lot of work when James was already going to be there with the filly he drives. It just didn't seem like it was a necessity for me to be there. And I'm trying my hardest to figure out a way to get to Ollie's baseball game. Now, Thursday, I will be there. I booked off Thursday. I called Dave Pallone last night, asked him if he'd drive all Looks Like Money and 3-Point Blue Chip. He jumped off a horse to drive 3-Point Blue Chip, which I appreciate. So Thursday, Wednesday after race 8, I'm going to drive right to Ontario. All these baseball games at Thursday at 1. Now, this tournament is not that interesting to me. He's playing in a 13U tournament. Now, as I've said in many videos, I've come to know the difference between 12 and 13 years old as a boy to be an unbelievable life change. Physically speaking, there is a vast difference between the majority of 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds. These are big boys. And Ollie just turned 12 last week. 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. So, without sounding pessimistic, because you know I'm not a pessimistic person, there's a small chance this team's going to get throttled. So I'm going to go watch the Thursday game. I might be able to watch the early Friday game, and this is where it gets extremely difficult. I forgot that our pacing fillies were in. Now they're in tough. But everybody should know it. You can read a program too. They're in very tough. This will be their last stake of the year. It might be the last race for Sweet Lake, because she's already won a race, so she doesn't fit a maiden anymore. And you have to understand, and this is important, and I think this is lost in a lot of my videos. When I talk about turning them out and bringing them back, you have to step back and look at it. I just told you about 12 and 13-year-old boys. Well, horses from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 2 to 4, 3 to 4 especially, do an insane amount of growing. And the reason I'm not worried about Wayne, Sweet Lake, the other 2-year-olds that we're turning out, and Leland, Hanover, reasons like that, what we're trying to do is race them at 2 to the best of their ability, and hopefully that level of ability is enough that they're effective at 2. If they're not, what you have to do is switch gears and now say, okay, how do we now set them up so they are the best forms of themselves as sophomores, as 3-year-olds. And that's where we're at with a lot of these horses. So you have to ask yourself, all right, we race Sweet Lake. She finishes 3rd. Pace is 54. She's got a win, a stake win in 56. I don't believe they have consolations for the Stallion Series in Pennsylvania. So, and to be honest, you know, everybody say, well, she might make the final. She might get choked also. You know, this is a good bunch of horses. There's a couple of fillies that show 52. I think there's one that shows 51 in the Stallion Series. So when I look at her, is a well-bred 2-year-old filly with a stake win in 56 already under her belt. She paced 54 a couple of times. She's likely going to pace 53, 54 on Friday. What more does she have to prove, and what more can she do as a 2-year-old? And most importantly, will anything past Friday jeopardize her becoming the best 3-year-old she can become? And that is a very, very important question. Okay, where am I going here? Hold on. Exit 9B. No, that's exit 8. There's no 9Bs. Not yet. So what we want to do is set her up for the best possible outcome as a sophomore. You look past her sophomore season, you have 2 or 3 paths. The 2 most predominant paths for her in particular right now would be an effective 9B, be an effective 3-year-old, make some money, and likely go be a broodmare after a 3-year-old season. This is Captain Luke's sister by Captain Treacherous. Again, she already has that stake win on her resume, already has a victory as a 2-year-old in a stake race on her resume. I mean, a lot of good things going on with this filly. So that's what I'm left doing with all these horses. It's not that I'm like, oh, well, I can't win a Stallion Series. Guess we just kicked them out in the field. That's not where I'm going with this. What is best for the filly now and later, and how do we maximize both ends? I guess that's the easiest thing I'm trying to say. So I didn't know that they were racing on. Friday. I missed the boat. I thought I was on top of that, but obviously I slipped through my fingers. I didn't realize it. So I pick up the Friday draw, and we have 5 horses in. 2 of them are stake fillies. Tim has 2 of his horses in. I'm supposed to be in the Meadows on Friday. Saturday, I said I wasn't going to the Poconos, which is fine. Now what? There's no racing at the Meadows. Do you just go to Northfield? The whole thing about Friday, they made it difficult. Now, as all this is going on, in the background, I've told Jamie Smith there is a long shot, but a chance I might go to PEI Friday and Saturday. If Time Is on My Side doesn't get in Friday, and we don't have a whole lot of things going on, I may make it down Friday. He said, well, that's great. I had sent a message to our clients with Woodmere Betcha yesterday. Come back off jogging the day before, a little bit of filling in her left front leg. To me, as I hear that, she's running in on the right line, taking weight on the left side. Obviously, she's injured her left front leg. I asked Jamie, I said, Jamie, just get her ultrasounded. We need to know what we're dealing with. He ultrasounded her today. It's not an injury. It's an infection. She might have touched herself when she was acting up going to the gate the other day, probably, and put a little cut somewhere in her leg or bruised it, and it blew up. So she's fine to go on Friday. He said, well, if you're coming Friday, bring your colors. You can drive her and you can drive my Heston Blue Chip filly. I said, yeah, sure. I guess, no problem. But again, this is a long shot. So this is all going on. Somewhere in my brain, as I'm training these 2 colts this morning, all this is being computed. I think, I assume, I hope. So I pick up the entries. Time Is on My Side didn't get in, so I'm thinking maybe PEI's in play. Oh wait, 5 of our other horses got in. The 2 fillies got in. Cherry's Girl and Don't Ask Again are in Sunday at the Poconos, and you know you have to go to Kentucky for Hangar 1 and the other colt on Monday. There you go. There's your weekend. Oh, by the way, we don't have a race for Time Is On My Side, so we have two options. Train him in preparation of either, we were thinking of going to Batavia for the Casey Kane. I wasn't thrilled about racing him at Batavia. In fact, it was a coin flip still at this point. But it was even drawing dimmer because I'm certainly not bringing him to the Casey Kane 5 weeks without a race. That's not happening. I raced in the Casey Kane one time in my life. Ben Wallace asked me to go drive, back when I was a driver, asked me to go drive Apprentice Hanover. You guys may remember Apprentice Hanover, a tremendous animal, and perished in the fire at Classy Lane Farms all those years back. A very, very good horse. I felt very lucky to go drive him. I think I finished third, fourth, something like that. He raced good. Batavia's tight turns, long stretches. Not really that interested in racing time, but it might be a softer landing than some of the other bigger races. So it was there. That too is a balloon that was in the air. So all this stuff is going on in the back of my mind. Now I look and I said, well, Meadows didn't fill the Open this week. That's disappointing. He's not going to Mohawk. I'm not racing him, prepping him somewhere else. What about Scioto? I called Scioto. They said, yeah, there's an Open. They went 47-3 last week, and it's a stiff bunch. He said, but if he races well, you might get the invitation to the Send It In next week that goes for $100. Two $100,000 races on the exact same day. One in Batavia, one in Scioto. I think it's going to be a shorter field in Scioto, and he needs a race. Horse coming out of the Houghton is not getting an easy race anywhere. Our easiest option was the Meadows in a 6 or 7 horse field. It didn't fill. I said, oh, why not just throw more on my plate? So now it looks like Wednesday night, I'm going back to Ontario to watch Ollie play Thursday. Friday, I'm likely going to be at the Meadows Friday evening. Saturday, I'm going to go to Scioto with Time Is On My Side. Sunday, I'm going to the Poconos with Cherry's Girl and Don't Ask Again and Tim's Filly. Monday morning, I am going to Kentucky. I looked from the Poconos to drive from the Poconos to the Red Mile is 7 hours and 17 minutes on maps. Now, if you use maps and a lot of highway driving, you know that's probably 6.5, 6:40. Ava starts school on Monday in Ohio. The other two don't start school until Wednesday. So this is the type of stuff that would literally have my wife almost have a stroke. So this is how I think the weekend should go. The week. Wednesday, race at Northfield, finish after race 8, drive directly to Ontario. Get up, watch Oliver's baseball game Thursday. Watch Oliver's baseball game. Hopefully he gets the 10 o'clock game on Friday morning. As soon as the 10 o'clock game is over, Ollie, no, he can't. He can't because he's going to have to play another game probably. Even if they get beat twice, I think they got to play that second game on Friday. So I could go to the Meadows, drive back towards the border, meet Amy halfway. Oliver and Addie could come with me, which she's not going to be a fan of with all this running around. You can be sure of that. Okay, where am I at now? Well, that's Friday night. Saturday, we go to Scioto. So we can literally just drive from the border down to Scioto, stay overnight. Kids love to swim. I can get a hotel with a pool. Saturday night, Scioto. Sunday morning, we have to wake up and drive to the Poconos. 6+ hours for sure. Now, it can't be 6+ because it's 7 to Kentucky. That shit's a little less. Doesn't matter. It's a lot of driving. Drive to the Poconos. Stay overnight there. Get up Monday morning. Drive all the way to Kentucky. Stay overnight there. Go to a water park or something Tuesday morning. Come back to Brunswick and go to school on Wednesday. I can tell you, in my mind, that makes total sense. But I can tell you there's at least one human being on planet Earth that will not be in favor of this particular plan. know how this week snuck up on me. I went out to eat last night. Felt great. Had a steak, so I'm eating blueberries today. Felt great. Revisited the horses' races. Talked to Eric. Read the vet reports. Revisited the races with a new lens. Realized that Degas raced as good as she possibly could. Jailbird Jog raced fantastic. Jolene Hall raced fantastic. The only concern was a little bit with Zena. Was she in heat? Was something bothering her? Was it the head pole? Was it the cord? I don't know. Find out soon enough. Now, Hanger 1 trained tremendous. Now he's TQ'd. And TQ'd means tranquilized. We gave him just a little bit of sedative. There's just no need for the horse to be wound up all the time. Now, you can't race on that sedative, obviously. But he has raced good twice. Raced really good once, and then the second time, but we knew what had happened. High GGT, high AST. We're working on both of those. Trained fantastic this morning. 2 minutes off a half at 3. Just cruising. He was good. Steady Volo couldn't catch him. Scotty woke up. Went out to dinner with Scott last night, and I asked him, I said, what do you do in the morning? I got to go in and train some horses for Linda. I'm going to be at the track. I said, hey, why don't you go? I'll tell Eric we'll train Steady Volo and Hanger 1 together, and you can go with Steady Volo. Steady Volo, he might not have been 100% this morning. I don't know. He didn't. He said he was really steppy in the turns. Why? I don't know. That will be a Dr. Andy problem to solve. I didn't really find him that steppy in the turns in his race. So here's the thing. He runs out a little bit, but he'll touch his outside knee. We put the go straight on him tape. Scott said he was in the turns a little bit, bumpy in the turns, did not touch his knee at all. He was fine. Perfect. But why is he steppy in the turns? I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out. So they both trained pretty good. Hanger was very, very good. Steady Volo was adequate. He was okay. All the other horses seem good today. Now, Captain Incredible is my only concern. We're out there, as I said, we're eating dinner, and Scott's looking at the draw, and he goes, Captain Incredible's in really tough. I said, well, Scott, this is the 3-year-old pacing division. They're all tough. He said, they'll go 48, 49. I said, well, my hope is that he'll get there. Now, he's been off a month. He's going to need a start down there, just like Time Is On My Side. He's going to need a start on Saturday night. I messaged Yannick Gingras and said, listen, this horse has been off a month. I don't know if he can pace 49. Paced 51 a couple of times at the Meadows, pretty easy. I'd love to see him get there. I can't tell you if he can or he can't. All I can tell you is he trained pretty good on Tuesday. Maybe a little flat because he was off 3 weeks. He's coming in as good as we can have him, but he is going to be a little short. There. That's a statement I gave Yannick. It's very similar to the statement I'm going to go over in my head for Saturday with Time Is On My Side. Doesn't matter that he was second in the Houghton. That was on July the 12th. The 12th. He's coming in on 5 weeks. Trained once in 58, very handily. He'll train again Wednesday, nice and slow. And that's all we can do. I would rather do that than re-qualify him. Qualifiers for horses like him are meaningless, right? They can go out and go 58 5 days a week. It isn't going to bother them. But you need to get him to that level. And now we've got his little rest in. He's back now. Now he's got to get back into form. My personal thought is race good Saturday. Hopefully get the invite to the Send It In the weekend after, rather than forego Batavia, which I was never really keen on racing him at anyway. It's not that I have a problem with Batavia per se, but it's a small, tight-turned half-mile track for a horse that is racing very, very good on a big track. Just paced 48-26 on the end of it at the Meadowlands. He could race in Batavia if there wasn't an event next week. And listen, if they don't give us the invite there, then maybe we'll take them up on the offer in Batavia. I don't know. But we have options. That's what you have when you have good horses. You have options. So we're ready to start today. Captain Incredible will race at 3:20, so in about an hour. Judy's Money, I'll make it there just in time to go jog her. We're not going to warm the horses up hard tonight. It's 95 degrees as I drive down the highway, and it's not getting any cooler as I get closer to Scioto. So they're all going to warm up easy tonight. Judy's Money's coming in great. I'm eager to watch Gaslight Hall. I'm eager to watch Chicago Hall tonight. Tomboy Strong, as I told everybody yesterday, is scratched tonight. Unfortunately, she had a ton of mucus in her nose. It went through the burn, and it went through lots of burns in Kentucky and Ohio and Pennsylvania. When it is 100 degrees, and then it drops down to like 70, and then it goes back up to 100, horses will get sick. Tomboy Strong, I guess, had gobs of mucus in her nose, scoped full. There was no possible way we could race that filly. Took her out for tonight. Then I close out my night with Megan and Steph. I'm just cautiously optimistic. I'm hoping for good miles from them. We're going to put them in play and hope they race good. And if they don't, this similar situation, we are going to have another discussion about those two fillies, much like we did about Sweet Lake and the other one. Now, there are other options for Megan's Lucky Day. There is the Buckeye Constellation. In fact, there's a Constellation 2, I believe, in Northfield. They were rating those last year. So there are more options. I shouldn't say that. It's not completely the same. And then we're going to close out our night with a horse that has been, I'm so happy to say this, has been an anchor for the last 6 weeks in Ontario. Just little fella, Delicious Stone DK, just an optional claimer. Tonight might be the night they grab him too. Who knows? So I look at our Wednesday, fairly uneventful, right? Highest Honors picked to win. Emerald Tom picked to be close. We've been watching everybody's health in the barn this week, and he's on the top of the list too. But as we found out with Perfect Thought, just because they scope clean on race day, just because their blood says they're okay, doesn't mean they actually are, right? They aren't machines. There isn't a definitive 100% guarantee that the blood work that you put in that machine and the paper that you're looking at is absolutely equal to that living, breathing animal that it belongs to. She went out and raced okay, but then the next day was absolutely full of mucus, had a temperature, didn't eat her breakfast. In regards to her, we entered her in the Renaissance Series. It didn't have enough to go to eliminations. They go right to the final. They predict the final will be around 60,000, and Perfect Thought is in that automatically because she was entered this week. So that's where she is. For those of you wondering, she'll race next week at the Meadowlands. The only problem we have right now is that Scotty just told me today he thinks he's going to be at the Wellwood in Canada that night. We'll see how that plays out. So I woke up today wondering if there was a chance I would get to PEI. And as I drive down the road at 25 after 2, I've realized not only can I not get to PEI this year, but it is going to be a very, very busy and very long next 5 days for me. And you might say to yourself, well, you got tomorrow afternoon. Nah, not really. I have to school like 3 horses and train 3 tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning's busy, tomorrow afternoon's busy enough. Tomorrow night, then I just drive all the way back to Ontario. But I will get to see Ollie play baseball at least once on Thursday, if not a second time on an early Friday morning game. And then things get pretty busy for 72 hours. 96 hours. So there you have my day, our day. Hangar 1 trained great. Steady Volo was okay. But I wasn't really disappointed with him. We have a full slate of horses, minus Tomboy Strong, getting ready to race this afternoon and this evening. So good luck to all my partners. I'm very curious to see how Captain Incredible races and what the feedback is from Yannick and Tim after the race. Eager about tonight. Judy's Money's in a great spot again. I'm eager to see what Megan and Steph's Hope have to offer for us. Our 2 boys in Ontario. And then finishing off the night with the headliner will be Delicious Stone DK out of Georgian Downs. So with that, I'm glad I got it off my chest, to be honest. It was starting to bother me. with that, you have a little sneak peek into how my day went and what I'm trying to rearrange in my head. But I think I have a decently firm grip on it now. The only disappointing part is I definitely won't be able to get to Prince Edward Island. So for Jamie and all my partners that had Woodmere Betcha, and then his own partners with his filly, I apologize. I maybe should have shut my mouth when I offered to begin with, but I was hoping I could get home. And for everybody else, good luck at the track tonight. Take care.